Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, Berryjuicysweet Dishes. And if this is your first time, please hit that like button and also that bell right beside. And to all my returning viewers, welcome back. To everyone, oh, positive vibes. Well, today I will be making a stuffed butternut squash with feta, spinach, and bacon. Let me show you how. Let's begin. So I'm going to take this butternut squash and I want to rinse it off on the outside before I begin, and then I'm going to pat it dry. Next, I'm going to cut my butternut squash in half. This is a pretty nice size butternut squash, but I'm going to cut this also in half. So next I'm going to take a baking sheet lined with parchment paper and line my butternut squash on the parchment paper, and then I am going to remove the seeds from out of the cavity of my butternut squash. So now I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And I just want to rub that oil on the inside of each individual piece of the butternut squash. So now I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon of the garlic powder. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle this among all 4 slices. Next, I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon of salt. And this here is to give it some taste. And I'm going to sprinkle it between all 4. Next, I'm going to add about 1/4 teaspoon of some black pepper. And I'm going to sprinkle it between all 4. Now, next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the cut sides down on the baking sheet, and I'm going to roast them for about 35 to 40 minutes or until it's tender. So I'm just going to flip it over. So my oven has been preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius. So now I'm going to place this in my preheated oven and I'm going to cook it for 35 to 40 minutes or until it's tender. Okay, so I'm going to take a pike of thick bacon. You want it to be thick bacon and not the original thin cut bacon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a baking sheet and then I'm going to line it with my parchment paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line my bacon on this parchment paper. I'm going to use about 5 or 6 pieces, okay? And then I'm going to put it in my preheated oven, 350 degrees. I'm going to bake this for 20 to 25 minutes or until the bacon is caramelized. Baking your bacon versus frying it in a pan. Bacon keeps your bacon soft but crispy. And baking your bacon, it also keeps the original size, the length of the bacon, even after it cooks. All right, so we're gonna cut our bacon up into about 1-inch thick pieces. All right, so we're gonna set our bacon to the side. So while my squash is still cooking and it is halfway through the cooking time, I'm going to go ahead and prepare my spinach on top of the stove. And I have already pre-washed my spinach. So over medium heat, I'm going to heat up about 1 tablespoon of some olive oil. So once my oil has heated up, I'm going to go ahead and add some spinach. I'm going to add about 4 cups of this spinach. And I'm going to cook this spinach until it withers. I'm reducing the size. Okay, so once my spinach has shrunk in size, I'm going to go ahead and remove it off the stove. Let's go ahead and check on that squash in the oven. So now I'm going to flip over my squash. It's nice and tender. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a spoon and I'm going to gently scoop out some of the inside of the filling to make a cavity. And right here, I already have a cavity already made, so I'm not going to do too much with that one. See how nice and beautiful that looks. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a spoonful of that wilted spinach, and I'm just going to stuff the insides. So next, what I'm going to do, make sure I push the spinach down in that cavity. So next, I'm going to sprinkle about a half a cup of this Feta cheese on the top. So now what I am going to do, feel that little spot right there. Is I'm going to take my bacon pieces and I'm just going to sit it on the top like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1 teaspoon of some rosemary, or you can use thyme. And what I'm going to do is I just want to sprinkle some on the top of it. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back in the oven for about 3 minutes. 3 to 5 minutes, or until my cheese turns a little golden on the top. But I don't want to leave it in there too long because my swash is already done. All right, let's check on our swash. Oh, that is so beautiful. All right, we didn't leave it in there long because it's already done. We just wanted to get that cheese a little caramelized coloring to it, but we're good to go. Well, thank you everyone for joining. Don't forget to hit that like button and also share the video. Again, everyone, thank you for tuning in to my channel, Berry Juicy Sweet Dishes. Well, bye for now.